Oleksandr Usyk is not only the undisputed and lineal heavyweight champion of the world, but also clearly the pound-for-pound best boxer on the planet, after his performance against Tyson Fury last night. Usyk vs Fury lived up to the hype 100%, and I was buzzing from the opening bell to the final round. It was a competitive fight with ebbs and flows throughout, but Usyk did enough to win on two of the judges' scorecards. I personally scored the fight 115 to 112 in favor of Usyk, but in the middle rounds, it looked like Fury had figured Usyk out and was going to coast to a decision himself. Usyk found a second wind in the back half of the fight, however, and looked unbelievable. The resilience that this guy has is undeniable, and even when it appeared like Fury had the fight in the bag more or less, Usyk still found a way to win. He is a fantastic ambassador for the sport as a whole, and the right man won on the night. What's annoying is that he only gets to enjoy the title of undisputed heavyweight champion for a couple of weeks, until the IBF strip his title and use it for a contender fight with Hrgovic vs Daniel Dubois. Even though Turkey, his excellency himself, has almost all the power in the sport of boxing, it's irritating that these belt organizations still haven't fucked off yet and can dictate the politics so much. That being said, we all know who the man in the heavyweight division is, and I cannot wait for a rematch against Fury and whatever other fights Usyk wants to make. I've waxed poetic about Usyk enough, so let's break down the fight now. Usyk came out quite aggressive in the first round, taking the center of the ring and spearing punches into Fury's body. I figured that Usyk wanted to gain leverage early on, just like how he did in both fights against Anthony Joshua, and that's more or less what happened. Usyk had the cleaner work in round 1, and backed Fury up into the corner at several points in the round as well. To give Fury credits, even in this opening round, he looked way better than how he did against Ngannou. He just didn't look good enough to win the opening round convincingly, even with the showboating that he was doing to try to rally the judges. Rounds 2 and 3 were razor close, that you could give to either of these guys. If I watch both of these rounds tomorrow, I might give round 2 to Fury and round 3 to Usyk, but on my scorecard today, Usyk edged round 2 and I gave Fury the third round. That's how close they are. They're just so tough to score, and it's amazing to see this level of skill in a heavyweight title fight. The Fury vs Wilder trilogy was certainly entertaining because it was two very powerful men swinging big shots at each other, but you never saw the same degree of footwork and pure boxing IQ like in yesterday's fights. For these 3 opening rounds, it was an absolutely great display of skill from both fighters, and the pace they set was solid. Rounds 4 to 7 were Fury's rounds, point blank. It seemed like Fury figured out Usyk's timing and his movements completely. During these middle rounds, my pre-fight prediction went out the window and it became a totally different fight than I had in mind. I honestly thought that Usyk would outbox Fury and then Fury in the later rounds would have to knock Usyk out, but it ended up being the exact opposite. It was Fury who outboxed Usyk, and the latter had the most dangerous moments of the fight down the stretch in round 9. Back to rounds 4 to 7, I thought that Usyk was getting stunned by the uppercuts Fury was landing and most of the body shots as well. That being said, Usyk was also targeting that body of Fury's all night, and it paid dividends by the end of the match with Fury running out of gas. I loved that throughout the entire fight, it kept going back and forth. I thought that Usyk had the fight in the bag, then Fury came on strong, and then back to Usyk. It was fucking crazy to watch live, and it lived up to all expectations of what an undisputed heavyweight title fight should be. In round 8, Usyk and Fury were both firing off shots, but Usyk landed the more effective strikes to the head. This was one of the most important rounds of a fight for Usyk because it got him back in the fight and got his confidence up as well. There was a moment in the middle rounds where I thought Usyk was a little demoralized, but he came back so fucking well in round 8 and even more so in round 9. Now let me be clear, I thought that Usyk looked tired and somewhat frustrated up to this point, but he never ever felt sorry for himself and kept adjusting his tactics, looking for ways to win. That's the mark of a true champion. Usyk also busted up Fury's nose in this round, which would drastically alter the trajectory of a fight and would be yet another variable on top of everything else. Round 9 was the most action-packed round in the fight and solidified Usyk as the winner in my mind. Even if Fury managed to get a close split decision or something by the judges, it was round 9 when Usyk beat the man who beat the man and almost knocked him out. Usyk clocked Fury and just didn't leave him alone for the last 40 seconds of the round. Fury was getting smashed around the ring and was on wobbly legs. Usyk would have knocked him down, but Fury was saved by the ropes, in which the referee started a standing count for Fury. Tyson recovered and made it to the end of the round as there was only like 5 seconds to go, but I'm fascinated with how the fight would have played out if the ref allowed Usyk to keep assaulting Fury. Would Usyk have enough time to knock Fury out cold, or would Fury be tough enough to make it through to the next round? I think if Usyk knocked him down clean in that moment, Fury wouldn't have made the 10 counts. This has been the first time where I've seen Fury properly rattled, not knowing where the fuck he was at all, and I honestly think it's the closest to Fury being stopped. Even though Wilder pinned Fury to the ground in the first fight, and he looked out in the moments, Fury made it up pretty easily off the ground and even went on to win the rest of the round in round 12. With the Usyk fight, Fury was gone, and he certainly didn't look like he could go and win the round if Usyk knocked him down to the ground and if there was more time to go like he did with Wilder. As for rounds 10 to 12, Usyk won these in my opinion. I think 12 was a little close, but ultimately, Usyk did enough to get the nod. When Usyk got the decision, Fury was fairly gracious in defeat, except for saying that the judges gave Usyk the win because of the Ukraine war. What a cunt. I mean, in all sincerity, he definitely had a concussion and was not in the right frame of mind to be doing a post-fight interview at all. The guy said Happy New Year in May for fuck's sake. He didn't know where his head was at, so while it was a bad look for Tyson to use the Ukraine war as an excuse, he shouldn't have had a microphone shoved in his face to begin with. Regardless, the first undisputed heavyweight fight in 25 years had everything. High levels of skill from both fighters, a back and forth battle with Usyk and Fury looking like they could have won in different points of the fight, a knockdown from the underdog, a bit of drama with close round scoring, but most importantly, a clear fucking winner. Oleksandr Usyk, make no mistake about it, deserved the win on the judges' scorecards unanimously, and he should be able to fight whoever the fuck he wants after that performance. He should be able to, but legally binding contracts are a thing in boxing, and with them come rematch clauses. Now, I usually despise rematch clauses, and I think they're a stain on the sport of boxing, but in this particular case, I would love to see a rematch between Usyk and Fury. Usyk won decisively, but there's a strong argument to be made about Fury winning a potential second fight between the two. Fury outboxed Usyk in the middle of the fight, and I thought he was going to win when I watched it live, and it got to rounds 5 and 6. Usyk came through the ring of fire, so to speak, but still, a rematch would be lovely to see. I wish that Fury would fight AJ first and sell out Wembley or something, then maybe rematch Usyk if he beats AJ instead of just a second fight being contractual, but whatever. Seeing another 12 rounds of masterful heavyweight boxing between Usyk and Fury would be stellar, and yeah, I'm still blown away by the fight, and I hope you were just as entertained.